Hello Mgtows, hello men. I wanted to talk a little today about this rugged individualism that seems to be pushed on us from the time we're children, by the schools, by society, by government. This rugged individualism is attractive to some males, but most males don't see how detrimental it is to themselves, to society, to their families. And at this time I wanted to stop and kind of give you the idea of where I'm going with this. What we're talking about here is Burgess individualism. Individualism is an illusion. The line I like to use is kind of a negation, so you have to use it in negation. It is the privilege of the white male patriarchy to forget his skin color. We see this with writings from Toni Morrison, and we see this in writings from Carol Singley and Susan Elizabeth Sweeney. In 1993, she wrote a book about the rugged individualism that she really just stole from. She really just stole it from Sullivan's writings in the 1920s, and Sullivan up to the 1950s, probably 1950, and Sullivan stole that from Marxism, and Marx. That Burgess individualism is an illusion. It's a privilege, and women like to throw this all around. Feminists love this idea, and we can see this idea repeated in their ideology over and over and over. In that when they look at the white male, they look at the white male as having this privilege to forget his skin color, and this privilege of Burgess individualism, and individualism they see as an illusion. So if you get a little time, you can type in those words. I'll put a couple links in a low bar. You can read Toni Morrison writes it, and you can see that you'll see this a lot with colored women, black women, repeating what they read by Toni Morrison and on Burgess individualism, and how they perceive it as the patriarchy, and the ability to forget their white males have seemed to have this quote fingers thing. I'm using quote fingers now. This ability to forget our skin color, and that comes from Sweeney and Singley, and like I said, back to Sullivan and to Marxism, and they take a lot of their idealisms from Marx. And that goes back to Taoism, and you can follow it all the way back if you just type in the keywords. And I don't want to go on too long about these credits, but I just wanted to take the time to where I was coming from, how it severs the family unit. And we all know that from looking around the manosphere, one of the top priorities of the government is severing the family unit into bigger pieces and into more pieces. Think of it like this. If a family sticks together, they have one mortgage, they have one electric bill, they have one gas bill, they have one water bill, one sewage bill. As soon as you sever that family, you're going to have, depending on the number of people in that family, you're going to have 4 mortgages, you're going to have 4 electric bills, you're going to have 4 gas bills, and 4 water bills, and 4 garbage pickup bills. Now, who makes out on that? They run a whole economy in our country just simply by severing the family into little pieces. It's easy math when you think about it. The divorce courts do this. The divorce courts thrive off of this, severing the family into 2 pieces, and then that family gets severed into 4 pieces, and that family gets severed into 8 pieces, and then all of a sudden you got all these people thinking that they're rugged individuals and lone wolves. And I wanted to talk a little today about the difference between Mghow and Mgtow. Mghow is a man going his own way. That's a rugged individualist. If you believe in that stuff, I never believed in that. The first time George Bush started pushing this down the throats of Americans, I almost puked. Mgtow is men going their own way. That's a plural statement. That's plural. That's us, all of us men, going our own way in a group. We never think about the group because it's just too hard to think of Mgtow as a group, but and it's pretty much a family group. It's pretty much an organization, but the biggest fear of the government would be that that organization starts acting like a group and has the power of a group. In the United States, I would see that would be a big fear of the government. So we get these guys running around saying, I'm Mghow's, I'm going my own way, and I don't care what everybody thinks, and never considering the group, and nothing ever gets done. I recently made a comment on what I consider a Mghow's, I just love saying that, Mghow's, a Mghow's vlog is, we can talk about all this dissecting feminism, and we can do that, but it leads down to this bridge to nowhere. There's no end game at the end, and we all know that. It just lets out to an empty, frustrating feeling of dissonance. And but Mgtow, the first agenda of Mgtow should be simply signing a declaration of Mgtow, signing some signatures, getting signatures on a bill for men to go to the government, so men can have their grievances regressed. And that's something we don't see, and that's something we haven't seen in the MRA and the MRM in Mgtow, and they've been successful. The government has been very successful at severing us into little sections and making us believe that we aren't a group. And you know what they say about the devil's greatest victory, but when they sever us into these little individual groups of ourselves and pat us on our back and say, oh, you're such an individual, we never function as a group. We never get those 500,000 signatures, that million signatures, them 2 million signatures we need to throw one single bill in front of Congress. We're never going to do that as long as we're severed as individuals. I would think the first agenda of Mgtow would be to start a page for taking signatures, and count our numbers and see what kind of political influence we have, because that's the only way you're going to get anything in this country, is if you have some kind of political influences. But the government has broken us up into little groups, and little self-interested little groups that nothing ever comes of it. It's a bridge to nowhere, and it's one of my concerns. We're not Mghow's, we're Mgtow's. We're working together as a group, supposedly, until someone came along with this brilliant idea that we have this rugged individualism, and that's what the government's going to try to push on us. So I wanted you to all just think about the concept of signatures, and that idea that if we all pull together, we can do something that hasn't been seen in the manosphere. that's an honest effort to change things. And I think one of the things that need to be changed is males' reproductive rights. It's an easy and simple idea. I was just reading an article by Diana Blake, and her ideas about opting out of fatherhood seems to be a big concern about them, because it has to do with abortion rights. Men should have equal rights in this to opt out, but it seems to be an idea that is well understood by the government, and it's an idea that they fear. So listen, 500,000 signatures would get us a long way, and to men being able to opt out of those family rights and not having forced fatherhood. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about forced fatherhood, and we all know that just boils down to monetarily extracting utility from the male, and making him into this rugged individual where now there's 2 house payments, and then there's 4 house payments, and then 8 house payments, and then 10 house payments, and the government loves that because it pushes commerce, and the government's all about commerce and taking their little chunk out of everything. And instead of having one household, a household divided. Think about that statement. A household divided is what? What do they say? It's a simple thought that's been around for, God knows how long, 5,000 years, and a household divided, is a bad thing. So I want Mghows and Mgtows and MRAs and MRMs to think about, acting as a unit. And that's all I've got to say today. You all have a nice day. Thank you.